I just wanted to make a bit of a shorter video today, just to quickly say that these videos that I'm putting out here, the advice that I'm giving for you isn't necessarily applicable to everyone, because a lot of the advice that I'm giving is actually quite specific to people who are in recovery from certain mental health issues or eating disorders or body image disorders. So an example of this could be using a Fitbit, because personally my take on Fitbits is that I really don't find them helpful at all for me personally, because I know that as soon as I had a Fitbit on, I'd be constantly checking every day to make sure that I'd hit the same or more steps, or to make sure that I'd done the same or more amount of calories burnt, or that my maximum heart rate was equal or better than what it was in the previous workout, and that my resting heart rate was slowly decreasing. I'd be getting too hooked up on the numbers, and that's all to do with my OCD and also my anorexia, everything sort of linked in together. But to someone who maybe requires that extra incentive to get active, and who needs to be more active in order to maybe lose weight or whatever, I could see how a Fitbit could be very useful, because obviously it's helping them to stay accountable every day. Say if they need to hit a certain number of steps, maybe 8,000 or 10,000 steps a day, if they look at the end of the day and see that they've hit that, it's sort of an acknowledgement that they're on track and that they're doing what they need to do. But I know that in my specific situation, and probably for a lot of other people out there who have obsessive tendencies or have suffered with mental health issues surrounding body image and things, that using things like Fitbits and ways of tracking your energy expenditure or calorie burn or whatever isn't necessarily a helpful thing, and could actually become quite destructive. Another way that this could apply is, say, like if I was to say on a video that it's okay to eat junk food, and that you should always respond to any hunger cues that you have, or that you should never use certain things to suppress your appetite, because to someone that's in recovery from an eating disorder, and who needs to relearn hunger cues, and to be able to respond to their body, and to be able to feed their body with necessary nutrients and things, it is actually very healthy to occasionally eat junk food. Like there isn't actually anything wrong with having a burger, or having chips, or eating something that you would consider junk, or just responding to hunger signals. Like if you've just eaten a meal and then half an hour later you're hungry again, there's nothing wrong with going and getting something else to eat, because that's just responding and relearning the thought processes around responding to your body's needs, really. But if you have someone that's overweight and needs to lose weight for health reasons, then perhaps eating junk food wouldn't be appropriate, or always listening to your body's hunger cues. Sometimes you may need to use methods to suppress your appetite, such as increasing your fluid intake, or increasing your protein intake, or increasing your fiber intake, because these things can help to slow down digestion, or make you feel fuller by creating more volume in your stomach through taking extra fluids. Or if you increase the amount of vegetables in your diet, obviously if you have 100 calories worth of broccoli, it's going to fill you up a lot more than 100 calories worth of chocolate would. So for certain people, there are definitely times where you do need to avoid junk food and suppress your appetite, or try and not listen to hunger signals, and use ways of controlling it, if your goal is to lose weight, and you're doing that for health purposes. But for myself, and for a lot of people out there who have or are still suffering with eating disorders, that's not the case, and it's actually quite the opposite of that. So really, everyone's specific needs and individual requirements are very different, and you need to be able to listen to the advice that you need to listen to for your specific goals, and where you need to get to, and then sort of block out the advice that isn't applicable to you, because obviously what's healthy for someone isn't going to be healthy for someone else. And just in the same way that someone that's overweight needing to lose weight for their health someone that's underweight needs to gain weight for their health. So in a lot of ways, the methods of doing it are the opposite. So where if you need to lose weight, then you're ignoring hunger cues. If you need to gain weight, you're listening to every hunger cue. Or if you need to gain weight, then it's about introducing junk food, and if you need to lose weight, it might be about avoiding junk food. And also on the topic of junk food, part of the eating junk food and eating disorders in recovery from an eating disorder is also for the psychological healing of it, because a lot of us associate foods as either good or bad foods, but really there isn't such a thing as good or bad foods when you're in recovery from from a restrictive disorder or an eating disorder or whatever, because you need to relearn that once you learn that you're able to eat these foods that you labelled as junk foods occasionally, it broadens the amount of food that you're able to eat, and it disassociates this whole notion of healthy and unhealthy foods, and it allows you to rebuild a more sustainable and appropriate relationship with food, really, which is something that I'm starting to introduce now with like some of the I've started to introduce some food challenges in the past couple of weeks. For example, the ice cream that I had the other week, and then I did it again last night. Actually, I had another tub of ice cream, so I'm starting to feel more comfortable with that, and now I've ticked that box off. I need to move on to the next thing to make sure that I'm carrying on to introducing these new foods and making sure that I'm not restricting any food groups at all, and that I'm not labelling foods as off limits, and I'm allowing everything in moderation, and that it's perfectly fine, and it's not going to have any detrimental impacts, really. So I said I was going to keep it short, but I haven't really done that. So once again, I hope that was helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and also subscribe to my Instagram. I'm becoming more active on there, as I've said. I'll have that linked down below. Comment any feedback you've got. Give the video a like. Share it with anyone you think it might help. And I'll see you all later.